Good evening, friends. Welcome. Uh, Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, to share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your kind support. As we wait for Deepti to join us, I'll just give you a brief about the two important headlines. Khan spoke to his father, Shah Rukh Khan, and mother Gauri via video call, said the jail authorities. He was allowed to speak to his father and mother via video call because of the COVID restrictions as well. So the second point, very important point, is about yes. Now I think Deepti has joined us. Let me just add her, and then we will. Yeah, one second.
Namaste,
Welcome.
Minaji.
Welcome. Yeah.
Very,
So
very happy Vijay Dashmi to you and
yes,
to all the viewers who are watching your show, Minaji. A very
thank you
happy
so much.
Dashera.
Thank you.
And this time, not only with hope, with the belief that all those innocent souls
Yeah.
who have been denied
Yes.
justice since many years, they will be getting justice this year at least.
Yes.
This year means not 2001, but the coming 1 year. Okay, and let us all stand together. We are nearing a new level of awakening and social consciousness, consciousness because of whatever has happened in the country and
Yeah.
regarding Sushant and a lot of
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
let's hope that this Dashra heralds the beginning of a new era of awakening and
Yes.
a new era of reforms.
Yeah. And also, since we have sharpened and cleaned our weapons yesterday, because it was Ayudha Puja, so
Oh yes,
all the
yes,
instruments were also cleaned and well kept. And I'm sure we're getting it sharpened for a bigger war, war of
yes, Minaji.
dharma against adharma, as it
Exactly.
happened in Mahabharat.
Yes.
You know, and
In Mahabharata,
what,
in Ramayana.
yes, yes. And what happened in the court yesterday was just an example of dharma. The people's voice was becoming louder and louder. So that's
Exactly.
one. Yeah,
Meenaji, I mean,
yeah,
it is a victory of sorts.
uh,
I mean, even the handing over of Rabiaji's case to CBI to fast track it,
yeah,
though
yes,
what happened after that is questionable, but
mm,
some developments at least are happening because
yeah,
of public pressure.
yes,
Because of public pressure,
absolutely.
the public is knowing and the people are knowing that are not going to keep quiet, so we
Yeah,
should keep this momentum. I request all the viewers that
yeah,
we should keep this momentum, not lose hope. This is going to be a very, very tough and a long battle.
yeah,
Okay, so
yes,
if we
absolutely.
have to keep fighting it, staying safe, we have to stay united, we have to keep raising voices. So we used to watch Big Boss, we used to watch Hindi movies and all. So
Yeah,
now let us change whatever free time we have, let us use it more constructively, because this planet, humanity and our
yeah,
nation needs us to be awake now and raise our
yeah,
voices.
yeah, yeah. And in many ways, also, Deepti, a lot of the things we have become at least successful in. For example, you're talking about, you remember the restaurant incident, and then
Yes.
the advertisements. A lot of the advertisers have started kicking out the actors from them.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and then also getting a message from our dear Prime Minister as well. So these are all the positive sides of what is happening, and I'm sure in Gia's case also there will be, as you said, a very positive development as well.
Definitely, definitely. Public has a big role to play. The public has a very big role to play. They should not keep quiet. And I am
Yeah,
very, very impressed. Uh, I mean, this is the only reason when I came out on the social media in August regarding Sridevi case as well, because I saw that public made CBI case, CBI mysterious death case not to die down,
yeah,
as the Mumbai police wanted to die down as a case of suicide.
yes,
Right. So it was the public pressure, and it's still continuing. Every day, Sushant, justice for Sushant, or some other hashtag for Sushant is trending.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So it's I I mean, earlier I too used to think that public is not interested. So though I was fighting Srideviji's case since November 2018, I mean, people never knew about it because the mainstream media, though we approached many mainstream medias like Republic and Z News, though they also know about the case, so they didn't report. and no one knew about it. But
Yeah.
in August 2020, it was in August 2020, after seeing how the public has come out and putting pressure on the authorities to act in the case of Sushant Singh, I thought, okay, let me put forward my story about Sridevi's case, and maybe I will also receive the kind of support, and it will pressurize the government into acting.
Yes.
So public pressure can work wonders. So I request
Also,
the public not to lose hope. It's taking time. It will take time. But ultimately, the victory is ours. I'm saying this on this auspicious day of Dashra. Victory is ours if we do not
also,
lose momentum.
yeah. Also, yesterday, while the case was going on, the long case, the hearing was going on regarding the bail. Also, see, I think a lot of the comments by the public on social media is something that the jury are also reading. They are feeling the public's pulse. So they have
Though
to
they
give
may
a
not
judicious hearing.
though they may not respond or talk about it, but the authorities, the agencies, they are well aware of the public on social media.
Yeah,
Social media is the power now, because people
yeah,
are now slowly tracking the mainstream media as well, because they are coming to know that they are not showing news, they are selling narratives and agendas.
yes,
So now people are turning towards social media to find out about those truths which are being buried by the powers.
yeah.
Okay.
See,
So this is a
even as
good thing. This is a good thing
yeah,
happening actually.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
and people can make out the difference between paid media and genuine media. See, for example,
Exactly.
yesterday Bollywood was going on and on about Gauri sending rupees 4,500 to Aryan to buy some snacks from the canteen, and if he wanted to buy some water or something. So for me, it was quite hilarious because even at this age, when 26, everybody is already well entrenched in their jobs. This boy still feeds out of his mother's hands. So that is actually not a good thing for Aryan.
No, Meenaji. I mean, it's like this because when someone is in jail, they are not supposed to have their own money inside.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
weekly, they are allowed visits twice. I mean,
yeah,
family visits twice. So since it couldn't happen, they had a video call. And since the maximum allowance that can come from one's family is 4,500 per week or per month, I don't know what the calculation is. So it's fine. I mean, it's not that he cannot. Either he has to earn by working in the jail, doing menial works, or
which is
it
what
has to come
which
from.
is what the parents should say. See, you better do that. Now you've done this mischief. If the parents were righteous, they would say you
If
just
there is
work
a
it
big
off.
if, there is a big, very big if here, and we know that if is not there in this case.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how we tolerated this till now. When I look at that video where Shah Rukh Khan and Gauri are giving interview to Simi Garewal, and he is openly saying that at the age of 2 or 3, he is advising his son to go for drugs, to go
yeah,
for girls, to go for this thing, and he's saying it proudly.
yeah.
And no one had
Also,
any issues with it. It didn't
yeah.
become big news then.
And also, don't forget the fact that they tried to camouflage the another event when, at the age of 14, he was caught in a car with a young girl, also related to the Bollywood industry, granddaughter of someone famous. And they were doing something very naughty, and that was all videotaped. Later, they very well camouflaged it by saying these were morphed. And so at that age, at 14, if the parents have already encouraged him to do everything, at 26, if he's doing this, nobody is surprised.
I don't know. I don't know what to say, but yes, I will ask people one thing, that let us not discuss or debate on why he is like that. There are many people like that. Let us just, what is in our hands? It's in our control. Do we want to see these people as role models or enjoying the demigod status? Do we want to see our kids and our fellow citizens follow such kind of people?
Here, Deepti, we are not looking at him as a consumer of drugs. We are looking at him as a larger part of a conspiracy that is selling drugs to youngsters, which means youngsters are the ones who are getting affected. So we are worried about the youth of India. We do not want our youth to be spoiled.
This is
So
one aspect which
everybody right from the RSS top, they're saying
yes,
that
Minaji. This is
drugs.
one
Yeah,
aspect which Sushant wanted to bring out. He initially
yes,
started with this only. He was talking about the drug trafficking angle that we had read in the previous slides, and that is
yeah,
coming out now.
yeah,
That is coming out now.
yeah.
It's a different matter that the son of a superstar has to indulge in such things. That means it's not about money or it's not about anything. They are by nature like that.
Yes. Okay. So I'll just give one more small news, which is very urgent and which has upset people a lot. So before we start, Deepti, so
Yeah, sure.
with your
Sure, sure.
segments, yeah. Friends, in the Singhu border, this lynching has caused a lot of pain to all Indians. The Sarpanch alleges that the deceased was manipulated and taken to the site. Now, this is a news that has shocked everybody. In a gruesome incident, the body of a 35-year-old Lakhbir Singh, hailing from village Chima Kala, police station, Sarai Amanat Khan, district Taran, Punjab, was found hanging by a barricade near farmers' protest site close to the Singhu Kundli border on Friday, of October 15th. Various visuals from the site indicated the man was attacked with sharp weapons and one of his hands was chopped off. The body was later taken for postmortem to a nearby civil hospital by the station. Now, viewers, why I got upset was there were these Khalistani-looking people actually talking to the man as he lay with his hand dismembered. I don't know what they were saying in Punjabi, but the first thing that anybody should have done, if he is responsible, they are responsible or not, I don't know. But whoever was there at that moment should have taken him to the hospital. That did not happen. Following this, SKU, Samyukta Kisan Morcha, released an official statement and blamed a group of Nihangs, which is Sikh militants, claiming they were responsible for the mutilation of Lakhbir Singh, who allegedly attempted to commit sacrilege with regards to the Sarba No Granth. Now, Sarpanch Sonu Seema Karan has told Republic and the other media that Lakhbir was taken to the site after being manipulated. On being asked whether Lakhbir used to go into the farmers' protest, Sonu Chima said, "No, I don't. Anyone will take him into. I don't think anyone will take him into the farmers' protest. This is what I'm thinking about. How he went to the Singhu border, who took him there. As far as I can understand, he's been manipulated. As this man cannot even go to Tarana alone. How can he go to Singhu?" So this is a very, very sort of worrying factor, friends, which has upset a lot of Indians. And I'm sure the center should take action against whoever is responsible for it. But this is something that's very, very upsetting. Yeah, I'll just wait for Deepti to join. Meanwhile, I'll just take a quick look at your comments. The election, good evening. Yeah, Deepti is back with us. Yes, Deepti. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one news that has upset people. So I just wanted to, mention it.
There are a
Yes.
lot of things happening, Minaji. I mean, every day, something or the other in one part of the country or the other, something is happening. And the thing is that we are not able to follow it to the end because the results are not coming. I mean, as soon as the crime is happening, they are taking some cool 2-3 months, and by then some other new news comes up.
Yeah. It's all, connected in the sense that, Deepti, this is all, Break India gang, Tukde gang, and they are the tool kit. And it's all controlled by bigger forces outside. And it is our opposition who is joining hands because everything means money and trying to topple the present government. That's all. There's nothing much more to it. And I'm sure, whatever is happening, they're going to get it back as well. Yeah.
Yes, I really have no idea about all this, Minaji. So I would like to reserve my.
It's because Deepti, see, if you look at the string of things, see, you look at the Delhi riots, and then you look at the farmers' agitation, then you look at the toolkit. Everything is connected, Deepti. Do you think these farmers are really farmers? They are all rich men who come on tractors and who come for massage and they come for movies
Minaji,
and
I would
not
just
protest.
like to contradict here. As I was telling you that when I went to Delhi to the CBI office, I had been to this place where the farmers had been sitting in protest against the farm laws for the past 1 year. Okay. So yes, the highway is not blocked as such, but yes, I went and spoke to them to see what exactly is the matter, because I don't believe the mainstream media, I don't believe the narratives. And then we had that Red Fort incident. but the person who was responsible ultimately had some contacts with political parties and all. So we don't know if it was a move to malign the farmers' situation, or we don't know. But when I spoke to the farmers there, they just told me one thing, that uh, and one more thing, Meenaji, the farmers of Punjab and Haryana are very rich. They have imported cars, they wear imported shoes, and they actually are farmers, and they are rich farmers. And that is one thing. And these farmers told that they are sitting over there in rotation basis. I mean, they go to the fields, and then the other batch comes up and they sit there. So they have moved the whole camping site tents and all. And if the road is blocked, they offer free drinks and free tea to the people. They manage the traffic themselves. There was no breakage of disruption of law or anything. And one thing just they told me that, ma'am, whatever is being shown in the media or anything, we are fighting for the entire country. We, the farmers, are fighting for the entire country. If we don't protest now, what will happen is that, like the education, like the health sector got privatized, and now you see the state of the education and the health sector, they are all profit oriented. The actual motive is lost. So that is what will happen to the food industry too, if these formulas come into place. That's what they told, and I found that very convincing. So that's why I don't actually I am still not sure where it is, who is sponsoring, or
Yeah.
what is the what's the
Yeah,
real farmers
in this,
and all.
yeah, in this I do not agree. Anyway, let us
Yeah,
have
sure,
our opinions on this.
sure,
Okay,
sure.
so let us get back
Sure.
to our reading, Deepti. Yeah.
Sure, sure, Minaji. Let us start. Yeah. Okay. So every piece of information that comes out is dramatized, and a lot of masala is added. No one is blunt and straightforward when the news reports are to be read out on the TV, and the pens these days have lost the power which they used to have when the news that was written revolutionized the country. Is it the same industry that once had names like Dalal and Narayan? Is it the same industry which once was fearless in unearthing all the scams that were happening around the country? If it was not for Dalal, the Harshad Mehta scam would never make its way out in the news. And the shortcomings of the financial system would never have come out. And similarly, if it was not for Narayan, then there would be no way that the Hawala scam would even come out. There were great people who once made sure that the news that made its way out to the public had truth in them. But what is happening today? See how the newspapers and the media functions, the news topics that are taken up, and the irresponsible way in which reportings happen. There is increasing amount of confusion in the minds of general public, who have nowhere to go to actually get them out of their confusion. And our so called celebrities media has become a tool for them to promote themselves. If you have good money with you and can pay for it, then whatever you want can be front page news. No matter if it is that your dog is suffering from constipation. This might sound as a joke to you, but this is the harsh reality. Everything today has become money oriented, and there are so many other things to add to it too. Sit back, take a strong cup of tea or coffee or whatever you frenzy. Relax yourself and think, who are the people who should not be challenged? You can challenge anyone who is powerful, because time can make anyone powerful and anyone weak. You can challenge someone who is rich, because time can turn tables anytime. You can challenge someone who is strong, because time can make anyone lose all their strength. But you should never challenge anyone who is intelligent and also has common sense, because these are two weapons which can never go blunt with the passage of time. By the passage of time only will add to the sense you have and the intelligence you can learn. We are common people who are intelligent and have a lot of common sense, because we are the backbone of our country. Till now, the first three in the list have been playing with us for a very long time, and it's now up to us how we stage our fight back. Because it's now or never. If we do not take strict actions and steps, now we will go nowhere, but fall down in our own eyes. when later we realize that we had a chance to make things better. But it's our own foolishness and negligence above our let go of attitude that we have now, which is spelling our doom as slow poison. So it's now up to us how we ensure we take stock of the situation and bounce back. My journey will continue with or without any support. But the one thing that stays here is that my approach very much will depend sometimes on the support I will receive. This does not mean I will hold back, but the only fact that shall remain here is that I have to continue and I will continue. Come what may, I will not hold back. Neither will let my team working with me down. We will continue our journey. Your support to us or not is up to you. If we have to work towards making our society better, then we have to ensure that we are up to the task and are ready for any kind of situation we face. The Amravati Smart City project had involvement of a Singapore-based company, and this Singapore-based company was closely connected to Srinivasan. I am not getting into caste-based politics here or insulting any caste here, but the connection is very simple. Singapore is very rich in Tamil population, and this was the game that was played. Srinivasan was used as a broker to mobilize funds, and these funds were then pumped back into India. There is one person who has done independent research on this subject, and he is believed to be hiding in Hyderabad. We will try and find him, as there are some links which can help us get connected to him. But here, according to our sources, hunt. There is a secret undercover manhunt to get in touch with this person and try and eliminate him too. So it's very important that we have to ensure we do it without raising alarms. The best thing that has happened here is that this person this person is missing on records, and the best teams are after him. He is been hiding from all this, and what is believed is that the person whom we have to establish contact with does not stick to one place for over 8 hours. If I go with this report, then the person who is doing this definitely has some past experience. As of now, the only thing that I can write here with what I have gotten to know is that the person who is absconding is the trump card, who knows how exactly the Singapore based company got interested in this deal and what made them back off the deal at the last minute, and how was the entire financial flow altered and adjusted so that no one who is involved in this would face any kind of issue. If what I have gotten to hear is to be believed, then the conclusion we can add to this matter is that within 2 weeks of the project getting shelved, the entire money came back to the investors through some Mr. Abul Hamid through Hawala. The route that was used was from Singapore to Malaysia to India. There are a lot of things that need to be jotted down and worked upon in this context, and we are up to it. I have some support in form of some voices who have promised to stand in solidarity, and I hope that things should fall in place soon. And I will make sure things will. But the collective decision we all have taken is that we will not utter a word about this to anyone and make sure that we will prepare well for this. And also and also till the very last minute, we will not even tell the people who are involved in this too about what the next course of action would be. As on today, the reports that we have has enough value. But if we have to establish connection, then the person who is having these documents and the proof of the transactions has to be found out first. The way in which things unfolded, we also have information that the person who is having all this has lost all belief on the system and has gone into hiding just to wait for his opportunity to strike back. The only information as of now we have on this person is that his name is Tamarai, who was working as a senior clerk in one of the chartered accounting firms, which Srinivasan, who was working with, who he was working with. If some reports are to be believed, Then there is one more piece of information that this person belongs to the same chartered accounting firm which reads the name of Sasikala's family members on the list of their client list. And there is another piece of information which says that Sasikala's contacts were used in the speeding up of the process of getting the money back to India. And the way the Hawala scandal that came out, yet the courts did not take any action on the Jain diaries, broke the morale of a lot of independent activists who were working on this. But one man who continued unaffected was Tamarai. Now, the only thing that has to be done to get everything out and ensure some action would be taken is 1. Blank, 2. Blank, 3. Blank, 4. Blank. The first step would be to establish contact with the person who is in touch with Tamarai. The second step would be gain the confidence of this close aide and take him into confidence. The third step would be make sure that the meeting with this Tamarai and try and take the documents from him. Now the fourth point, discuss with him whether he wants to take the lead or we do it within ourselves. Now, the reason I have left the 4 points blank here is because this is one point here where everyone has to take the decision all by himself. The 1, 2, 3, 4 are the main points that depends on each person's decision. Now, if I was to do this, I would do it like the way I have explained it above. And if someone else is doing it, it's up to you what you want to do. The end result is what matters the most, not the approach. The only thing that needs to be taken care of here is that the approach we take should not make much of a noise because this issue is such where we have to be extra more careful. One wrong sneeze at the wrong point can damage everything altogether. This is all that I have to say here, and then leave it up to the public. How they approach this, I will put all effort to ensure that if I am not able to get hold of Tamarai, I will present this out to the public in such a way that if the news falls on the ears of Tamarai, he will definitely come out and join the movement. Because the people who told us about Tamarai told that he felt lonely and was out of support. So, if we work around this and ensure that we keep matters out in a way that we are able to instill confidence back into Tamarai, then he will himself come in touch with us, was the report I got. So, I will work on these grounds as well. The entire episode will take a new direction if we establish contact with this person, and then there will be no way that anyone can ignore these facts. Back then, when the Hawala happened, there was no way connections could be established on the Benami transfers. But now I have my AI interface and I am working on other interfaces too. So these codes I will decode and prepare a strong case wherein no one will ever be wherein no one will ever be ignoring this angle and the connection that the Hawala network has with the terror funding too will be very easily exposed. One point that has to be closely noted here is that the 1982 stock market scam, the 1992 stock market scam, and the 2002 stock market scam that have surfaced are closely connected to these Hawala transactions too. And one of the major reasons for the merger of banks is also connected very closely to these Hawala transactions as an effort to hide all the trials of the money that have been transacted all these years. See the list of the banks that have merged, and then see the list of the banks that were bankers to the people who were involved in all these scams. You will get connections for yourself. Though I am well aware of that all this information is readily available out there on the web, I will still list out the banks that have merged and the banks which succeeded them. Then let's talk about this so that both of us would be at the same page. It would be easy for me to explain and it would be easier for you to understand the connections around it. The only intention I am doing this despite I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Minaj.
Yeah. So,
The only intention I am doing this despite knowing it for a fact that these informations are readily available on the web, is because this is one very important chapter that needs proper explanation. Else, what will happen is that I will be explaining something, then the media will come into the picture and give it a different angle, and then everyone will be confused whom to believe and whom not to. So I put in this extra effort wherein all this is documented and penned down so that if something like what I feel might happen, if it happens, then we will all be prepared because these connections that I have made now will come into the picture. And we will be ready knowing these connections and we will be prepared to face whatever consequences may come
Your voice, yeah, yes. I'll just wait for her to join. Meanwhile, I'll just take a comment. Jasna says, I can't imagine how much trapped and isolated SSR might have been in this toxic industry, but very brave to fight against it rather than blending in. Yes, this is his character, Jasna. Very well written. Priya, that one actor said, many are happy when Aryan got arrested. Many Bollywood actors and actresses are happy to think at least the connection to underworld will come out. These Khans will be punished. Yeah, actually, even if they praise or support SRK, it would be probably because they want to fit in. Okay, let me just take a few more comments, important comments. Nikki says, Karthik, such a true statement. These stars have allowed money, mean everything to them, and forget who made them stars. The people who at one time thought highly, not now, eyes are open. Yes. Today, on one of the channels, one actor of Bollywood said that all the three Khans are fake heroes and collect money from Bollywood and invest in Dubai. Priya, yes. Okay, be yourself says what SSR has exposed before his death in his diaries, people have waken up to this reality after his death. I wish if he were alive to see people wake up. Yes, what a massive job that he has done. Karthik says, I beg to differ from what Dipti ji said about the farmers of Punjab and Haryana. How did they become so rich when farmers of other states are not even able to pay back their loans? Yes, and also the fact that Karthik, these farmers are not representing the other farmers around the country. So that's also something I don't agree with. Be yourself is saying, I heard that Aryan is being given special treatment in jail by police on orders of MVA government. This is 100% true. Otherwise, the business will not continue. Vishali says, are the Bollywood actors happy about Aryan Khan's arrest? Maybe in a sense, in their minds, they may be happy, Vishali, but can't, openly talk about it. Yes. Yes, Deepti, back.
I'm sorry, Minaji.
Yeah, that's
There was some disturbance actually.
yeah.
Whatever I read just now has ruffled some feathers, so I am receiving calls about it. Anyway,
Yeah,
let
yeah,
me continue.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
What did you read just now that ruffle feathers?
Whatever I read just now, if I talk about it again, again.
Okay,
So
okay. I'll
let's
have to go back.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. One point that has to be closely noted here is that the 1982 stock market scam, the 1992 stock market scam, and the 2002 stock market scam that have surfaced are closely connected to these Hawala transactions too. And one of the major reasons for the merger of banks is also connected very closely to these Hawala transactions. As an effort to hide all the trails of the money that have been transacted all these years, see the list of the banks that have merged, and then see the list of the banks that were bankers to the people who were involved in all these scams. You will get connections for yourself. Though I am well aware that all this information is readily available out there on the web, I will still list out the banks that have merged and the banks which succeeded them. Then let's talk about this so that both of us would be at the same page. It would be easy for me to explain, and would be easier for you to understand the connections around it. Minas, you just asked about what feathers it ruffled, right? I will come and talk about it, please. I am getting some calls about it. I will just come back, please. Sorry for the disturbance.
Okay. Now, some important, we'll just wait for her to join. Meanwhile, I'll just take a few important comments. Does anyone know what happened with Imtiaz Khatri questioning by NCB? Why has he let go? No, Shambhavi, this is the third time that he has been summoned by the NCB, and it is because of the links of whatever happened in the Cordelia, the ship, that he's been summoned. So there is a direct link with him with regards to the drug racket and the trail. So I'm sure this is not going to be, he's not going to be so easily left off. So that's something that will happen soon. Shilpa says there's still bigger fish out there which NCB has to find. If influential, then will be difficult. Yes, back to Deepti. Yes, Deepti.
I'm so sorry, Minaji, for these
No,
disruptions
no,
in the
it's
show.
okay.
Yes, you are asking about which name, right? I was reading about Tamarai.
Ah,
So it has obviously shaken a lot of, not just ruffled, not just feathers, but the entire bird, it seems. So I think I'm in for a lot of. Anyway, let me continue this
yeah,
session.
yeah.
Okay. The only intention I am doing this despite knowing it for a fact that these informations are readily available on the web is because this is one very important chapter that needs proper explanation. Else what will happen is that I will be explaining something, then the media will come into the picture and give it a different angle, and then everyone will be confused whom to believe and whom not to. So I put in this extra effort wherein all this is documented and penned down so that if something like what I feel might happen, if it happens, then we will all be prepared because these connections that I have made now will come into the picture then. And we will be already knowing these connections and we will be prepared with the questions we are to ask and will be in a much better position to understand the games the media has been playing with us. Now we have to prepare ourselves for this. What I would call this is one kind of war which we are going to wage against corruption, against all those who have been playing with the assets of our country, with those who have been handling various positions and misusing their powers, with those who are not scared to do anything because they have a strong background to stand behind them, and with those who are this background. Against all these kind of activities, once I'm done explaining this, the next topic I'm going to pick up will make all of us aware of another dirty game, the rise of Gautam Adani and the rivalry with Mukesh Ambani. Though this was everywhere, no one really took this up, and the issues died down. Let's first finish the subject on hand and then get to this issue, which is going to shake the belief system of a lot of Indians who have been kept blinded for a long, long time. The list of the banks are as follows. Allahabad Bank merged with Indian Bank. Andhra Bank merged with Union Bank. Corporation Bank merged with Union Bank. Syndicate Bank merged with Canara Bank. Oriental Bank of Commerce merged with Punjab National Bank. United Bank of India merged with Punjab National Bank. Vijaya Bank merged with Bank of Baroda. Dena Bank merged with Bank of Baroda. Andhra Bank of Maharashtra merged with Bank of India. ING Vaisya Bank merged with Kotak Mahindra Bank. Bharat Overseas Bank merged with Indian Overseas Bank. Centurion Bank of Punjab. Lord Krishna Bank was first merged with Centurion Bank, and then Centurion Bank was merged with HDFC Bank. United Western Bank merged with IDBI Bank. The pattern that I want everyone to notice here is that bank mergers did not happen for the first time. This time it has been happening since 1993, but the list that I have mentioned here is the latest and the most important ones. There is a huge list of banks that have merged with the State Bank of India as well, and this has been another issue all in itself. I will have to cover this up as totally different chapter because this has a lot of dirty chapters that have been attached to it. But in order to reach there, I will have to cover the other stories, which will lay the foundation of an understanding, and only then will everyone be able to understand what exactly is happening. My mission is not just to bring the truth out. My mission is to bring the truth out and make the people aware of what is happening. I do not want to confuse anyone with what is happening. The media is there for that. But what is more important here is that even the people, those who are not connected to the internet and the web, are aware of what is happening around them so that we can then achieve what we want to, because the biggest thing that stands in the path of the truth coming out is the reach. How far can you make your voice reach? The people who are on the web are not just the target audience. You need to make sure that you have every Indian out there on your list. If you have this, then there is nothing that can hold you back, because the first aspect that comes as a big answer to any movement you want to start is how many people are aware of it and how well are they connected to the subject. Because if your target audience, whom you want to make them a part of your mission, knows what is happening around them, then the fight would be much, much more easy. The names that are involved in all that has been happening in our country involves those who have been role models, demigods, celebrities, trendsetters, and also influencers. So it's very important that the public does not get confused or comes into two minds. At least if we calculate it on a percentage, then at least 10% of the people who are not on the web and have not touched the computer even once in their life, do not even know what a mobile phone is, should know what is happening. These are the people who actually are the game changers, because these are the people who really are the innocent ones, who do not have any idea about what politics is and what is stepping back. And what is stepping back? Once a yes from these people is always a yes. And no matter who changes or not, these people will never change, because these people are those who are do not get involved into anything just for the sake of it. If they get involved, they will stand by your side like a rock. If not, they will say no from the word go. One thing that has not gone into these areas till date is deceit. And these people, even to date, work on the word of mouth as well. And these are the set of people who are most exploited too. And the best way to take them on your side is tell them the truth. These people will definitely stand with you. I am telling, because I know for a fact that these people are of this kind of mentality. Because these people are like the newborn babies who do not know or understand what cheating is, what is deceit. These are the people who do not mind sleeping on empty stomach. But if you are their guest, they will ensure they will make you feel like a king, even with the little what they have to provide. These places are the real places where our culture is still alive. So I say, this is the place from where we have to start. We will have a strong core team who will never bulge to any kind of pressure or not fall to greed. And if we are successful in this, then 80% of our task is accomplished. And we have a game on and we can start. You might laugh on me when I had said that a person who has not touched the computer ever or do not even know what a mobile phone is, but if you just get out of your living rooms and hit a trip down to the remote villages of our country, you will for sure find that this class of people still exist, for whom all this is still unknown. And the reason these people are still much better than all of us is because these people have real friends. These people know each other well and stand with each other, unlike our urban society, where a person would have thousands of followers on social media, but when real problems come, there is no one to actually fall back on and ask for guidance, support, or help. In these places, even today, mutual respect and celebrations happen real time, where everyone participates. The entire family comes together and they all enjoy and live in the moment. They are unlike the cities. I would want you people to add on here yourself. What is the contrast that I'm trying to point out? And yes, this is the biggest wealth anyone can actually have. The people, those who matter to you, are with you, and you can have a healthy conversation. On a rather lighter note, I now understand what actually this healthy conversation means. When we talk on the mobile phone or on video calls, the radiations that the device emits gets into your body. But when we are talking to someone face to face, there is no radiation. Just a lighter note, no offense to anyone. But yes, the life in these remote villages are still the same that used to be years back. And this makes a huge difference in the way things stand in the society today for me. If someone has to make sure that his base team is really strong, then these people who are still down to earth and connected to the roots should form a major part of your team, because these people never forget the good done to them nor keep any favors done on them. If you are good to them, then they will not think another second before laying down their life for you. And by chance, if you have helped them, they will go to any extent for your sake. This is the pure love and conscience these people have, and I respect them for it. Every mission needs a strategy, and the basics for great strategy is teamwork and trust in the team. If we have this with us, then then there is no need for us to look back or think otherwise. If we are not confident on the people with whom we are working, that's when all the confusion comes in and things start getting delayed. But if we are confident that yes, if I go ahead and then something goes wrong, then I have people on whom I can bank on. I have people whom I can look up to. I have people who will bail me out of any situation. And I have people who will continue this after me. The mission that I am in is not easy. And I am well aware that each day is a new day for me. There is no guarantee that whether I will see tomorrow. Though this applies to everyone here, the risk is double the natural ways you would die, along with the debts these people can give you. I am well prepared for it, because the only thing that matters here is fear. If you have fear in you, then they can take you for a ride. But if you are fearless, then there is no way these people can do anything to you, because you have already negated their biggest weapon. Though I might feel I am repeating things over and over and over again, I really want to make one point very clear, is that I am not trying to bore you. The only thing I am ensuring here is that I keep reminding myself that no matter how far I have come, I have not gained the upper hand yet. I am still just one mistake away to be taken to task and to be destroyed. I have to be double sure and careful that I have to finish this task and ensure that I am down to earth and on the lookout for new things that would make its way to me, because there are so many unexplored angles still left pending in this mission which have to be explored. And the bottom line is, I have to be grounded and know my limits well. If not, the days are not far where either I will be silenced or I will be put to rest forever. I have trust in God and the power of truth, that even if something adverse happens, these people will get a taste of their wrongdoings, and none of these will be spared. I just pray to the Almighty that open your eyes, show some pity on us, and take stock of the situation. You made us, and only you have the right to decide what is in store for us. If you continue to be ignorant, then these people soon will overtake you too. All this explanation now is very much needed, because the chapter to follow is one such where most of the people are in for a shock of their life. There will be a lot of confusion as to what is right and what is wrong, whom to believe and whom not to. The names that will come out will actually confuse everyone. I need to be honest to myself and agree that I myself was confused as well, and I was blank for some time. Luckily for me, I had walked a little down the lane, so it was not a shocker for me, and I could make some amends and understand what exactly was the game that was being played. But this would be real tough on someone who is a beginner. So in order to make sure that at least there is something to hold you back, and make you see sense. I am on with such huge explanation. You might feel that was all this necessary. Do not forget, all five fingers are not the same. Some get it real quick, but some take time. For some, one sentence is enough to understand the whole subject. But for some, but for someone else, the entire subject might just be a sentence. So it's very important that I make sure that I have generalized the absorbing capacities of people and have prepared this work because what I want to achieve is independent thought process. My process should make the real innocent people understand things all by themselves and act on their own. My real success would be when people to whom truth matters, when they get to know about my work, they would need no one to explain what is the context that is being discussed or what is it that I am trying to portray. They should understand things easily and digest it all by themselves without having to ask anyone what this means or what is the person trying to say. The only reason these people are having an upper hand is that they have put a break to the independent thought process. If we are able to get this back, then there is no need to do anything else. Once minds are awakened and spirits are enlightened, spirit here means the spirit of positivity, the spirit of hope, the spirit of humanity, not the dead. There is no need for anyone to do anything. No motivational speaker, no influencer, no trendsetter, no role model, no one. Man himself will be able to find answers to all his problems and will be able to function in a much, much, much more constructive way. And the overall society will reap rich benefits. But the nexus and the cabal that is unused will not let this happen. Because if this happens, all their shops they have opened with different names will shut down and their empire will crash like a pack of cards. People, please understand, adapt, analyze, and realize all that you have been searching in the lines of your palm is locked in your wrist. All that you have been blaming on luck is just a few steps away. It's just that you do not give up and walk that mile. If you consider yourself unlucky, what would you call people who have been born without limbs or not able to see, hear, or talk? I'm not trying to look down upon disability here, but the only point I want to make here is that the day we stop thinking about and crying for what we don't have, if we try and work with what we have and have our goals defined, we can achieve anything under the sun. The only thing that can hold you back from achieving anything that you want to is you. The person you have to look up to when you need motivation is you. Your best friend who can take you out of any problem or who will stand with you no matter how hard the battle is you. So make sure that you prepare yourself because the day a man starts to believe in himself, knows what his goals are, where his limits lie, and what is the efforts he needs to put to overtake himself, that man cannot be stopped even by a bunch of people because there is intent with direction, and a common man with intent and direction is an army in himself. The choice one has to make is up to the one who has to make the choice. But is wise you think before you make the choice. It's up to you. Who is the architect of your future? So it is very important that you make a choice only once you are fully aware. This is the secret to success. If you make blind choices without giving it a thought, then you will be left with nothing and you will only have to play the blame game. But will it take you anywhere? Though I am well aware that there are instances wherein genuine blunders happen, but even it's never too late to start afresh. Every human being gets two choices to make. One, sit back and cry for what he has lost. Two, gather himself, learn from his mistakes, and fight back. Each coin has two sides, and it's up to you which side you pick. One makes you a loser, and you will remain there where you are without achieving anything, pitying on your own self and cursing yourself for the wrong decisions you made. Second is the optimistic side, where you have learned from from your mistakes, started afresh, keep in mind all that has happened, and make sure you are fighting back with all your might. Because this, you deep inside yourself know that this is just a phase of life which you will overcome with time, and your today's pain is your strength tomorrow, and you will emerge victorious. But the one thing everyone needs to remember is it does not matter if you let go of 10 friends who partied with you when you are successful, but never forget the one who stood with you when you were down. Some questions before we start the actual chapter that is going to make a lot of changes to a lot of perspectives, which each has in their minds. Kindly go through all these questions to understand the subject and analyze this yourself. Try and understand the questions and prepare yourselves for what you would feel is the need for you to stay happy. These are my questions. Your questions might be different. But what is the need of the hour is how we channelize ourselves into how we frame these questions together. And how do we make sure that we remain united with all our questions, which might have common answers. 1. Who are these people? 2. Who were they when they started? 3. How did their journey start? 4. Did they have a proper financial backup when they started? 5. Where did they come from? 6. How did their empire start? 7. What were the initial gimmicks they played on us? 8. What was the plan that was applied? 9. How many were a part of their initial team? 10. What were the steps they took when they wanted to start? 11. Who supported them in the initial days? 12. What were their initial business strategies? 13. What was the action plan? 14. How was the action plan implemented? 15. What was the one common factor? 16. The main people who stood behind them. This is the first set of questions which are very important because these are the questions which will make us lose the fear we have been planted with from a very long time. And these are the very questions, if we ask ourselves for the answers, we will realize that we were the people who actually are the reason how all these people started. If you have the answers, then you can count yourself in by default on my side when I start this mission, because even you by default have it inside you to analyze what is right. And if you have the answers without any analysis, then you are one of these two people. One, who has gone through this already. Two, you are one amongst the people who are a curse on this society. Whatever is the scenario, the truth cannot hide for long. So initially when I start, I will not keep any count or count on any people who join hands with me. We'll do it gradually. Now to the next set of questions. 1. How did their ventures grow? 2. How did the transition happen? 3. How many wrong incidents came up during this phase of the transition? 4. Who stood up with the wrong people at the wrong time? 5. Why did they stand with the wrong people? 6. What are the possible connections they had with the wrong people that made them stand up with them? 7. Was it by force? 8. Was it by will? 9. Was it because of any compulsion or any kind of pressure? 10. How much was the turnover? 11. What were the acts of wrongdoings that happened during this time? 12. Who took the blame and why? 13. Where are the people who took the blame now? 14. Are these the real culprits? 15. Who are the real culprits? 16. Why are they shielded? Ask yourself the answer to these questions. When you do this, you will know and realize who nurtured these people and who is the real reason for these people to be powerful and reach the situation they have reached today. And also, when these questions work their way through your brain, you will get some strong points in your mind which will help you connect better. Now to the next set of questions. 1. How well have the ventures grown now? 2. How deep are they in our system and society? 3. What keeps them going? 4. What are the similarities in all these three phases? 5. What are the standout differences in each of these three phases? 6. Who are the actual people behind this? 7. What is their work module? 8. What are the strategies that are improving with the passage of time? 9. What are the steps that are being taken to keep them in the position they are in now? 10. How strong is their position? 11. How long can they continue in this position? 12. Who is letting them continue in this position? 13. Who are the sleeping partners in their ventures? 14. How are the people continuing to do what they are doing? 15. Who are their main supports? 16. What are those various factors on which their empire is standing? This the next set of questions which I have framed here so that I can make an effort to help you connect to the reality. Answers to these questions will actually make you understand that the answer that you have been searching for all these years in the society is well within you. And it's you who has to take a stand. And also, what everyone needs to understand is that there is no way anyone can hold you back or play with your feelings till you let that happen. And in order to understand where to start, you need to know the issue at hand very well and have your preparations made to perfection. Because if you are well prepared, then there is no way anyone can stop you from what you want to do. The first three set of questions, if you have found the answers, would have made you realize where did we go wrong. If not, then close your eyes and ask these questions to yourselves. You will for sure find the answers. If you have your conscience alive, and then come back here and read all the questions again and try and connect to questions to what is happening in the society today, and you will for yourselves know what is the answer. Now, for the final set of questions before we get to the topic. 1. Why is this the need of the hour? 2. What I am to gain with it? 3. Why should I waste my time on it? 4. Is it worth to spend my energy on this? 5. There are others to speak up. Why should I speak up? 6. What is the guarantee that what I am doing will be right? 7. That was a part of the business. What is wrong in it? 8. Why should I be worried about the situation in the country? 9. Me alone, how much can I do? 10. Is it worth for a thought even? 11. I have a family. What about them? 12. What is the guarantee that my efforts will get results? 13. What if those people bounce back again? 14. What if the society laughs at me when I speak up on these issues? 15. Am I doing the right thing by raising my voice? 16. What is the outcome of all this? Ask each of these questions to yourself and be honest to yourself while you answer these questions. And when you find out the answers, you will not need anyone to tell you more. Anything more. If these questions make you feel that you need to stand up and roar, you will be an integral part in rewriting history. If they do not, I have no complaints whatsoever. Everyone has his own mind, and God has given everyone, and it's up to each one individual choice to decide what it is that they want to do with is the individual decision which every person has to take by himself. The set of questions that I have asked are the ones that I feel those are needed to be asked or acted upon. But again, this is my opinion. Till I finish this will remain my opinion. But once I come out on the public domain, this no longer shall be my work. Everyone who wants to get associated, hears it or gets to know about it, each of you have your own choices. You can make the edits you want to do, the questions you want to add or remove, you are free to do it in your mind or add on to this work and carry out on your own path if you are not comfortable working with me. I completely understand that not everyone is in the same frame of mind that I am in, and some might have other ideas and might want to work independently once something connects to them. I completely respect your stand and will cooperate with you. If you feel anywhere you will need my assistance, because as I have said, once I come out in the public domain, my work will be an open platform for anyone to connect or make their own analysis around it. What is important is the end result, not the journey one has embarked. The next The next chapter is on that other name in the society who is very powerful and has all the high influence up his sleeve and is a very respected name that is taken with high respect whenever the name is ever made any mention of. Yes, the name is none other than Gautam Adani. Now, if anyone feels that I am trying to show all the great businessmen in the country in bad light, then I want all of you to remember what happened once upon a time in Mumbai. Now, I am not sure if many of you know this subject or not, but I am sure some Mumbaikars definitely know about it. And I know for a fact that most of the Mumbaikars know about it. But the confusion that was created after this incident had confused everyone. Now I feel it's time we turn over the pages and take a walk down the memory lane and revisit this incident too, which had so many questions in it but we Indians never bothered to ask. But when there was an attempt from Adani to start a coal mine near the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, triggered reverse reactions from environment- environmentalists in Australia. This issue was picked up by the Australians, and some solid questions were asked, which we never asked. Now, what is the incident, and what made this incident come out? When the Adanis were to start a project near the Great Barrier Reef, has a lot of connections. These connections, in order to understand these connections, we need to go back and start from where this started. Or rather, let me put it in this way. The news that came out opens up some angles around why is this man, Gautam Adani, who stands as a question mark, and why has his name made its way in my work. I will make sure that each angle and the connections around it, I will make sure I will explain each and every angle around it, and also make sure that the untold, unheard stories around this also will be spoken about, and every possible connection that would show how deep this person is on the ladder of corruption and damages that he has done to our society. I will bring it out. And as always, once I am ready, it will be out for all of you to see, and you can conclude on it however you want to and draw your own conclusions around it. The first news that made it to the pages of the newspaper came out in 2011 when a ship, which when later was examined, was found not to be seaworthy, sank off the coast in Mumbai, some 80 to 100 kilometers from the coast. Not sure of this though. This is what I have heard around this. And we need to go deeper into this matter to understand this better. But what is more important for now is that the ship did sink, painting the ocean black, oil spill, and also depositing 60,000 metric tons of coal in the sea. But because I am not someone who wants to give mileage to people who have not done anything good to the society, let me put it out more bluntly so that people can understand and connect to the issue. The ship that was carrying 60,000 metric tons of coal sunk into the ocean. Oil spill and coal spill in the ocean created a lot of damage to both environment and the marine life in the ocean too. And what was most shocking is that the people, officials who were arrested in this, were released on bail in under 2 days. And this is quite evident as the newspapers read the same news. You can verify the same too, and then believe if you want to or not. Now, this is what is told in the media. Now, let's go to those stories which the media has not told us, and also some names which will send shockwaves right across your body. There were a lot of phone calls exchanged, lot of funds exchanged hands as well, and the matter was put to silence. The facts and the stories around this are connected to the crash of international markets. Now let's get back to the dates. The only reason I want to bring it out like this is because for the first time we see a strong connection to the untold stories, and this is how the connections should come out according to me, so that every angle that is explained, everyone understands every single detail of it. 4th August 2011, the news of the ship overturning on the coast of Mumbai comes out. 6th August 2011, the people, those who were arrested, come out on bail. 8th August 2011, Black Monday, the international stock market crash. Does something connect here for me? It does. It does strongly because all these incidents are connected here. Because there are other two incidents and the other angles that come into play now. When we see this from the angle I'm going to share now, and trust me, you will find each of this worth of it. Now, let me explain the chain of events and incidents that made me derive to this. Let me put it out the way it should be so that everyone finds out how these people have a strong hold internationally. The person who took charge as the CEO of the project Adani was to start in Australia was a director of operations at another mining company which poisoned the very river that gave drinking water to the people of Zambia. Now, this is another interesting chapter as the owner of this company was American who escaped from the clutches of law because of common connections, is what was found written in the record books of Zambia. Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands is a territory where companies who want to avoid taxes register themselves. And if you take a list of the companies that have registered themselves, here you will find a huge list of companies that are registered here, and somewhere you will find the connection around the same company which I spoke in the earlier point. Now let's get to the point where I spoke about the connections of the Adani ship overturn and the overturn in the Black Monday incident. Now, the main point that comes into the context here is the connection these businessmen have. Now, what these connections are is the main subject that needs to be investigated on, and how we get to the root of the same, the way in which this has to be planned has to happen very carefully, and we have to be more than cautious to take care this happens, because the bottom line is that these are the same crooks who are spoiling our society, and this incident has a lot of chapters attached to it. But before that, let's frame the questions we had missed asking back then. And it's very important now that we need to ask these questions before we go any further from here. And the reason that I am making a note of all these questions because the answers to these questions are the most important to be asked. And the answers to them will also be uncovered in the course of these investigations itself. But the questions have some answers which have to take now, because the only thing that stands in the way of a happy society and problematic society are these people and these points that we chose to ignore all this while. And this is one of the reasons we are suffering all this while and continue to suffer despite knowing what was wrong, why was it wrong, and what made things go wrong. We all knew it very well, but just that we could not make the connections. I completely understand and agree that I myself would never have made these connections myself if I would not have started this work of mine. I too would be trapped in all the same things like you were. But now my eyes are open, and I will ensure that I will make sure each and everyone in attention, who stands in attention when Janagana Mana is sung, will get to know about these facts and will be made aware of these facts. My job is half done when I do this. And from here, it's up to each one of you to decide and write the last chapter. I have written what I want to do and will come to it and note it down once I am done with this work. But each citizen of this country has this choice to make, and it's up to them what choice they make and how would they want to proceed with it. Once all this is put on public domain, but since very young days I was told that the people are sensible and they understand if things are explained in a way they should be explained. The next few slides will be my effort to do the same. And let's see how this goes. But one thing is for sure. I have decided that I am not going to stop taking a break or deviate till I reach the roots of this filth, and also shall ensure that I will keep the people around me motivated so that we can get faster results. The bottom line is that all this is a teamwork and we all have to stay united. And the strongest spring that keeps people united is awareness. If you are aware about what is happening around you, then there is no way that you can actually actually be deviated from what you want to achieve. Because whatever happens, you are aware of it. And the reel would be continuously playing in your mind so that you can make all the connections. The only reason all this was pending till date were these two main reasons. One, we were not told of the complete facts. Two, we believed everything that we saw without analyzing how was it possible. If you go back now and analyze, neither was Ambani rich when he started, neither was Adani. No matter, it needs hard work to make a name and earn some money. But earning this much that today you are one of the top rich people in the world, my simple question to everyone is how is it ethically possible unless you have your hands in dirt? It's still fine if there was a limit to it. I understand that when it is business, some games have to be played, some taxes have to be hid because you are sustaining yourself is equally important. But then, what is the answer for those crores of money you have accumulated over the period of time? Yet again, here, get me loud and clear. I have nothing against anyone. Your hard work or your other ways you got it, I really do not care or want to spoil my head behind it. But the facts that you have played with the emotions of people, you took humanity for a ride, and you made a mockery of the system is what hurts me the most. And in my eyes, this is an unpardonable offense. And I will make sure that with this work of mine, until the last drop of blood runs down my veins, I will continue to work on this and make sure that every single person out there who is a curse on humanity is taught a lesson. And the lesson that I am going to teach will make everyone aware that it's truth and righteousness, Satya and Dharma, that are immortal. Rest everything and everyone has to die one day. The other emotion that stays forever is love. The three basic truths of humanity are truth, righteousness, and love. Everything revolves around this. All the positives revolve all the positives revolve around these three. All the negatives too revolves around the same two. Looking at all these matters that have come out during the course of time, go back and analyze for yourself what is the reason all this is happening. This is happening because of two reasons. One, we look up to others and turn a cold shoulder to the problems that is staring on your eyes. Two, we are so carefully manipulated that in order to believe anything, we need to read it on the news, hear it on TV, or see some publicity around it. Else, it is a myth for us. This is there everywhere in the society and also has been happening since a very long time. And the trend continues even to date. When we have choices to make, we chose to turn a cold shoulder to them and take the easy way out. What makes it that necessary that you need someone else to show you the path or the direction? Has God not given you a brain? Are you in any way inferior to anyone? No, right? Then when it comes to tough decisions that have to be taken, why is it that you have your mouths locked up? You can talk about anything and everything under the sun, but when it comes to issue where you talking about it is most important, surprisingly there is pin drop silence that conquers the atmosphere. Don't you think that the decisions that are being taken when it comes to loan waivers and other exemptions that are given, do you even realize who is paying the price for it? Why are these waivers and exemptions given to the elites and the people who generally deserve help, like farmers, always suffer in silence? Why is there so much bias when it comes to the businessmen and the elite? Rich. Look at the amounts of money that these people owe to various government organizations. I have explained it in the earlier instances. Don't you think there is any accountability for it? Why is it that we are silent despite knowing all this for a fact? And why is it that this continues to happen even today? Even to date. You might think I am repeating things over and over again, but every instance rotates back to the same topic. It, it makes it even the more necessary that we discussing it and we continue to discuss it till the time we find a solution for this. The entire nexus revolves around these issues, and the biggest flaw here is that We are blind to.
1 second, friends. We'll just wait. Yeah.
Yeah. The entire nexus revolves around these issues. And the biggest flaw here is that we are blind to all this. Despite seeing and hearing about these issues, we are blind to them. The biggest factor being that we were not given the complete picture. Now that I have come this far, I see through a lot of things. And I'm sure when I keep it out in the public domain, a lot others will too. And then we all should stand together in this, and we have to fight this out in a united way. Now, let me get straight to the point where I shall go ahead and explain why these issues are to be repeated over and over again, and how Adani, like Ambani, is another chameleon who is slowly rising to prominence and is equally involved in crimes and atrocities. The Mumbai incident is just one of the many incidents where the Adanis came into the news for damaging life ecosystem and environment. There are other incidents and instances too, some reported, some not reported. And there are some incidents as well wherein the Adanis, in order to gain monopoly, have damaged the reputation of some mining companies who were doing their job, staying in the limits of the norms set for the safety of the environment. These untold stories and these fights that had been happening for ages, which, if the media stood properly around it, then these people would not have gotten this strong. And these people who have been in the limits of law, some corrupt hands and some dirty minds got together and made sure that they played this beautifully to ensure that all this was hidden. And moreover, if we have a closer look, now these people are like the blood sucking bedbugs who come silently and suck the blood out of you without you having any knowledge around it. I feel so frustrated when I listen to all this. And the irony of it is that Ria and the initial team of people whom I used to trust once upon a time tell me that I am getting depressed and I need to hold myself together. Who other than me myself would know what is happening to me? The best, I am not depressed. I would never be depressed. Depression only comes to those people who do not have control on their mind and thoughts. But I am not that kind. I have total control on my mind and thoughts. The reason I am writing this today is that when I come out with my work, there is every possibility that these people do to me what they had done to Parveen Bhabi. So, this work that I have made notes of shall stand with me as a testimony of my mind. These people can go to any extent, but if I have the support of my people and I have not swayed from the path of righteousness, then righteousness will protect me and keep me safe. And if for some reason I am not able to complete what I have started, then my work will be of great help to anyone who wants to stand up and raise their voice against the wrongdoings done by these people. The life dedicated to the service of mankind is great because in the service of mankind lies the service of the divine. Shame on all of us to let all this happen and not stand with the people who wanted to bring change in the society. Wish the people who died fighting against this cabal had left some kind of information behind for all of us to know this. This awareness and awakening phase that me and my team are going through today would have happened much earlier, and a lot of lives could be saved. Today I will end it here, Miyaji. I think I have taken a lot of time.
And you should also have some water. Everybody is saying that you should also have some water.
No, I hope I was clear today and there was no
Yes,
confusion
yes, very good.
whatever.
Very clear, very clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you so
So
much,
I will,
Deepti.
yeah. So I'll take a leave today, Minaji. Once
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
very happy Dashra to you and the viewers. Let's continue our fight against the evil and
yeah,
adharma.
yeah, yeah.
We will win.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good night, Minaji.
Thank you and good night. Meet in another session.
Sure.
Good night.